Hey everybody, I'm going to be making a quick update video on UOS because I'm actually seeing some things that make me think we could see a retracement here. And while it would be nice to set a higher low and start some sort of an uptrend here, I'm seeing some things that make me think it's more likely we may actually make some lower lows, and that could give us the opportunity to take out some previous resistance. So first off, we're on the daily time frame, and you can see that right now we've been finding resistance on this area here for a couple days now, and this area is previous support in these areas and was resistance right here. Another thing to point out is we are approaching this resistance line here, so there is the possibility that we reject off this level one more time and then potentially come lower, and that would give us an opportunity to come down into this little box of support here that I talked about in my last video. This area is made up of many different support levels. First off, we have the 786 of this fib retracement, which covers all of this price action since we put in a bottom back in May. So a very significant fib level there. We also have a very significant support and resistance line here. And I would really like to see UOS come down and at least retest this previous resistance area and maybe even wick down to the 786. But just below this area, we also have a pretty significant support and resistance area right here. So that is what my little support box is made up of down here. Now, looking at Market Cipher B, you can see the daily momentum wave is starting to fold over just a little bit. The VWAP starting to flatten out, and looks like we could potentially come down here and print a red dot soon. Plus, some of the lower time frames like the 4-hour kind of back this up. I'll talk about that in a minute. But if we end up printing a red dot here, and if we end up coming lower, we have the potential to print a daily bullish divergence here if we end up putting in a lower low. This is the same scenario I was talking about in my last UOS video. If we see this, that could potentially be a bottom signal. Now, I'm not saying we necessarily have to come lower. Like I said, there is a possibility we put in a higher low and end up breaking this downward resistance that we have here. But if we do end up coming down to these levels with bullish divergences, I think that would look pretty bullish. Now, looking at the 4-hour, you can see that as we are finding resistance on this area, the momentum has been decreasing, and it looks like we are topping out on this current momentum wave, and we are probably about to get a red dot soon. So things are looking kind of toppy on the 4-hour, but the money flow is actually looking very good on the 4-hour. It is steadily increasing, and in fact, we just got a 4-hour money flow crossover to the positive. And pretty much same story on the 3-hour here. It's actually a little bit more clear here how much the momentum is decreasing. And actually, we technically did get a bearish divergence here because we had a wick up to these resistances. I don't know if this wick was on most or all exchanges, but on Bitfinex, we technically got a bearish divergence here. But just like the 4-hour, the money flow is actually looking really good here on the 3-hour. But coming down to the 2-hour, it's kind of looking like a little bit slower growth, and it's kind of flattening out here. And then when you come down to the 1-hour, this is where it kind of tells a different story. You can see we had a pretty sharp increase in money flow here. And since we came up to test this resistance level for the first time, the money flow has been steadily decreasing. And you can see very clearly on the 1-hour, the momentum decreasing as well. We are actually printing bearish divergences on the 1 hour as we're moving upwards slightly here. So overall, it seems like we are probably going to get a retracement here regardless of if we put in lower lows or not. We are finding resistance at this very key level here, and since the 4 hours looking topish and the daily looks like it is starting to slow down and could end up printing a top here as well, I'm thinking that we actually have a pretty good shot to come down and take out these levels. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really means a lot to me. I appreciate all the support. And I will see you all on Tuesday for my next video.